Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching us from home. I trust that none of you had any stress this week. It was a completely uneventful week. Nothing special happened. I have one request for you. It's Shabbat. Try to put your cell phones aside. Try to disconnect yourselves from Fox News or CNBC or whatever you watch. No updates for the next 63 and a half minutes. I promise not to talk about it at all tonight. In the future, it's different. So let's just take a deep breath as we take the warmth, the blessings of Shabbat in. And let's breathe out all this stress. We'll do it again later. But I think for all of us to be able to enjoy the service and to get into the right spirit of Shabbat, we have to let go of a few things that took over our lives in the past 3 or 4 days. And with that, we're going to welcome Shabbat with the Shabbat candles, as I am going to invite our Bat Mitzvah, Treasure Stein, on video to lead us in the prayers.
Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotah, v'tzivanu, l'hadlik ner shel Shabbos. Happy Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. We welcome the Sabbath bride, the words of Lechadodi.
Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor v'dibor Shabbat nekabela
Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Hihi mekor haracha Merot mikedem nesucha Tov ma'aseh b'machshavat tila
lecha
dodi lecha dodi likrat kala V'nei Shabbat nekabela
Shabbat nekabela Hitoreri Kiva orech Umi ori Shir gavri Kevod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha
dodi lecha dodi likrat kala V'nei Shabbat nekabela
lecha dodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela.
And for the final verse, we rise, face the entrance to our sanctuary if you're able. If you're at home, you get up. You can face the entrance to your home, to the room you're in. As we welcome in the Sabbath bride with the words of Boi, Chala.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam besimcha u'tzola Toch emunei yom segula Boi chala, boi chala Lecha
Dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala V'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala V'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please be seated.
Okay.
And this is the time in which we think about good things that happened to us in the past week, things that we would like to share with the rest of the congregation. We'll start with you who are here in person. Yes, Mr. Morris.
Ooh.
Marcy who? Yes, our Marcy celebrated her 30th birthday. Mazal tov, Marcy. Grateful for the love of your two beautiful, wonderful children. Did anyone send anything? If it's political, just kill it before. We're not doing it.
I can do that. Ed and Kathy Yonkers are so happy to be with their daughter and family. A year is a long time not to see them. True. Dvorah Shem Fem is grateful for her parents, Davi Linda and David Friedman. That's all we have for now. My guess is there'll be some more in a little bit.
So we continue with
Psalm 92, the words. Ooh. Oh yes, it's a little humid in the sanctuary today. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. It's good to give thanks to God. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני. לחגים בבוקר, לחגים בבוקר חסדך, לחגים בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני. And we welcome the angels of Shabbat with the words, Shalom Aleichem.
No, it's a-
Oh no.
Same words,
Same words.
a little bit of a different melody.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharim, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharim, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Lai lai lai, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai lai lai, Malachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruni Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyonim, Melech Malachi Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. מלכותי ושלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, קדוש ברוך הוא, עיני לכבודי ושלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. זכרם שלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. זכרם לשלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Thanksgiving, Hanukkah are approaching, which means that we have even more opportunities for social action, for helping our community. So I would like to invite Gali on video to share with us the mitzvah project for this month.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
This
Shalom.
year, as in previous years, we are going to support Back to Basics. Back to Basics is a program that provides nearly 8,000 children in Palm Beach School County with basic necessities of new sneakers, socks, underwear, and a wrap toy. We would love to have your support and participation. If you're interested in helping a child, all you have to do is send me or Alyssa an email or write in the chat box right here that you're interested, and we will get in touch with you. You're going to get an email with the name of a child, the age, the size, and what to shop for. Then you're going to wrap all these goodies and bring it to the temple for a special drive-through on December 6th. If you're not feeling comfortable going shopping these days and still like to support and participate, please consider sending a gift card or a donation for this purpose, and we will do the shopping for you. Please help us make this a successful drive, especially this time of year when so many of our neighbors are not doing as well and could use the little support. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Gali, and I'm sure that we at Temple Betham will be as diligent and generous as we have been always. Time to continue with our call to worship.
Please rise if you're able. Yadalai, lai, lai. 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 Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayers? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yadalai, lai, lai. 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 Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch You may be seated. Since the time change, I feel like I'm so conscious of the darkness and of the evening. So we continue now as our days are getting shorter with the evening prayer. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyon valayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyon valayla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Haravi.
Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha אתה. Torah u'mitzvah, Tukim u'mishatim, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, שופטנו וקומנו, נשיח בחוקך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו, ויורך ימינו, ובהם נגן ימום ולילה.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. And now before the Shema, we'll take a little bit longer time to try to relax, to put our fears and anxieties aside, just let go of them. Try to do it at least for the duration of the service, hopefully for the duration of Shabbat. Maybe you can extend it to the following week as well. Let's close our eyes and take a deep, slow breath in. And breathe out. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Perhaps many of you already had some conversations with God this week, asking God to make one state voting larger than the others. I'm not sure that God is in this business of elections and voting, but we all have now a lot of fears, worries, hopes. This is the time really to talk to God, to share with God what is really on our hearts, in our hearts. And perhaps if you pause, you may hear God saying to you, it's going to be okay. Perhaps it's going to be better. We can thank God for all the gifts we have. Ask all the questions that nobody else can give us an answer for. And we listen. Let's take another deep breath in as we breathe in the warmth, the blessings of Shabbat. And let's breathe out our frustrations, our pain, our disappointments of the past week. It's time to let go of everything we need to let go of. And still with our eyes closed, some of us put our hands over our eyes. We say the prayer of Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, and we slowly open our eyes.
Continue with the Shamra.
Yeah.
Are we spinning?
I mean, are you
Yeah, we
spinning?
can spin.
Are you spinning?
Yeah,
Okay, we can spin.
we'll spin.
Let's do it. Shiamru Renei Israel et Shabbat Lasot et Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם
ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי אותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We ask God to shelter us and to protect us as we pray for peace with the prayer of Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, taknenu beitza tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
Two weeks ago, I spoke about the high school principal from Boca who originally got fired after emailing parents that he cannot take a position whether or not the Holocaust is a historical event. So there are opinions on both sides that I'm, as a school principal in Boca Raton, Florida, am not going to take a position. So initially they fired him, which we were quite happy because Holocaust deniers should not educate our children. This is a form of anti-Semitism. But the reason I spoke about it was that several weeks ago, the school board of Palm Beach County met again and decided to rehire him, which made us really angry. And not only us, the entire Jewish community was really angry, and the school board agreed to have another meeting, and 1,200 people called and left phone messages, and the court forced them to listen to all the messages. They met and voted again and decided to keep him fired, keep him out of the school system of Palm Beach County, 7-0, because even the 4 members of the committee who voted to rehire him said that after listening to so many people, among them many Holocaust survivors, they learned a lot and realized that what he did was indeed awful, and he should not be an educator in our county. On Monday night, as we were driving from North Carolina back home, we heard in the news, as many of you did, that there were shootings near a synagogue in Vienna, Austria. And I think that most of us understood, at least those of us in our car, that it was related to the synagogue. Somebody was shooting in a synagogue. And the first reaction that Gali and I had was, it's early November, and they are shooting in synagogues in Vienna. And I realized that this is a great opportunity for us to do, as the Jewish community, what we need to do to educate ourselves about the Holocaust. It's one thing that many people who are not Jewish are ignorant, but we should be very knowledgeable, so we'll have the opportunity to teach others. Because next week we're going to commemorate Kristallnacht, or the Night of the Broken Glasses. And I have to admit that I don't talk about it every year, but in light of what's happening and the ignorance in our community, I want to tell you what happened there and much more. So it happened on the night between the 9th and 10th of November 1938. Some scholars see it as the beginning of the Holocaust. But even if it was not the beginning, it's definitely a watershed event. And I'll explain first what happened. The Germans, earlier in November, decided that all the Jews in Germany who are not citizens, even if they were born and lived all their life in Germany, but they have other nationalities, citizenship in other countries, must get out of Germany. Most of them were Polish Jews. At the same time, the benevolent, compassionate Polish government decided that every Jew who was out of the country for 5 years is no longer Polish. And here is the situation. Now we have 18,000 Jews on the border of Germany and Poland. The Germans tried to push them back to Poland, and the Polish said, no way. So they are in a no-man land. And it's hard, and it's frustrated. And of course, the Germans were not really nice and said, why don't you take some time, sell your home? No, everyone was allowed to take one suitcase and get out. So they were starving, they were cold, they had absolutely nothing, they had lost everything. One family, the Greenspan family, wrote a letter to their son, 17-year-old son, Herschel, who happened to live with an uncle in Paris, and said, we don't know what's happening, it's really, really bad, but if there's any way for you to help us to send something, please do it now, because there's nothing we can do. Herschel, on the day of the 7th of November, again, he's in Paris, bought a revolver, bought some bullets, went to the German embassy in Paris, asked to talk to one of the people there, and when he met Van Roth, that was his name, he shot him 5 times. Van Roth was the last person he should have killed. Not that other people should have been killed, but Van Roth was in fact under the investigation of the Gestapo because he was criticizing the Nazis all the time as a professional diplomat. Nevertheless, he shot him, and the Nazis saw it as a great opportunity to escalate all their persecutions, all the awful things they have been doing to the Jews since January of 1933, when Hitler took power. So from the very beginning, they started to place restrictions on Jews. Right? Jews were not allowed to work in civil service, later on not in the armies. Jewish lawyers and doctors were allowed to take care only of other Jews. Jewish store owners had to suffer a lot. It was quite awful, but still they rarely, it's not that it didn't happen, but quite rarely harmed the Jews physically. It all changed on November 8th when they heard that Van Roth, the German diplomat in Paris, got shot by a Jew. Before I tell you what happens, I want to give you a little bit of background that we rarely pay attention to. The Germans had 2 goals. One was to expand the territory of Germany. And you do it by occupying other countries. The other one was to get rid of all the Jews under their control. How do you do it? It started in 3 stages. The first thing they thought that would be successful was to put a lot of pressure on the Jews, like all these decrees and new laws that I mentioned before, and they thought that the Jews would leave Germany, would emigrate out of Germany. Many Jews wanted to do it, only that the rest of the world did not really want to open the gates for the Jews. As Chaim Weizmann said something akin to, the problem that we have as Jews is that we live in places that we cannot really live, but other places don't want to take us. So where we are going? And that was in the 30s. Palestine was still under the control of the British, who did not give the majority of the Jews permission to go to Palestine. So many Jews tried, and some of them got visas to come to the US, to England, to other places, but a lot didn't. And those who didn't were mostly the older ones, because the young ones who were strong and had some skills, yeah, it was much easier to get visas. But people over the age of 50, especially those with some health issues, were not welcomed anywhere. So they tried to cause the Jews to live on their own, didn't really work. The next stage was what we're going to see with Kristallnacht. They escalated the pressure. So if before some laws or some bandit that attacks a few Jews, Kristallnacht was a pogrom. The definition of a pogrom is that the violence, mostly almost always against the Jews, was directed by the state. So it's no longer some groups of hooligans somewhere. It was state-directed. Of course, the Nazis in 1938 were not the Nazis of later on, so they did not explicitly tell their people to attack the Jews. What they said was that the Nazi Party is not going to organize attacks on the Jews. However, if some people decide to do it, they're not going to stop them. And here we have the Hitler Youth and the SA not only getting permission, they read it as an order to start attacking the Jews. So on this awful night, between the 9th and the 10th of November, they burned 267 synagogues in Germany, Austria, Czechoslovakia. They ransacked over 7,000 stores and businesses owned by Jews. And owned by Jews, according to their definition, meant that 25% of the business was owned by a Jewish person, or if there is an executive who was Jewish related to that business. The official number initially was that they killed 91 people. And we know that they ended up killing 6 million, and okay, 91. But remember, that was the beginning. Now, modern scholars assume that numbers were much, much higher. They're talking about 600-700 people who got killed, who were murdered by the Nazis that day. And they rounded up 30,000 Jewish men, ages 16 to 60, and forced them to march to concentration camps. Again, this is still 38. We're not in 39 when the official Holocaust started. 30,000. We know that as a result of it, more than 600 of them just committed suicide because of the horrible condition, the humiliation, the degradation that they suffered. So in many ways, the Kristallnacht is the transition from, let's just make the lives of the Jews hard so they will try to emigrate, to let's now actively force them into expulsion. And here they face another problem. So they figured out more or less how to get rid of the Jews of Germany and Austria. Problem was that they had plans to conquer other lands, right? Like Poland and parts of Russia that had millions of Jews. So what are you going to do with that? So one goal that they had, as I mentioned, was to expand Germany and at the same time to exterminate the Jews. But the more you expand Germany, the more Jews you have. And therefore, the more you have to exterminate them. And at that point, they realized that if we'll try just to expel them, to try to push them to emigrate, it's going to take us many, many years. And Hitler knew that he had to start the war much sooner than anyone else in the world expected. A week after Kristallnacht is the first time that we find a document in which the Germans say that if the world will not take all the Jews, they will have no choice but to kill them all. Not only that, even the American counselor in Germany, Mr. Geitz, wrote a memo in still 1938 after Kristallnacht and said, it's quite clear to me that the Germans embark on a program to exterminate all the Jews. And this is really the importance of this Kristallnacht. It's the first time that it was organized by the state. It was really massive. It was everywhere, not only in one small city or village. It was all over Germany and Austria. The methods that they used, they never used before. In a way, they wanted to test the reaction of the world to that, to see how far can we push the envelope And apparently they were able to push it quite far. It's not that the world liked it. There was protest, and some people, some nations, many of them condemned it. America called the ambassador back temporarily. Did not cut relationship with Germany over it, but people realized that the Germans take it far, but really nobody did anything to try to stop them. And something else happened. This youth, these male teenagers, the Hitler Youth, who started in 1933 to be indoctrinated into hatred, into believing that the only way to restore the pride of Germany, especially the pride that they lost after they lost the First World War, is killing the Jews. So these teenagers who started in 33, now we're in 38, almost 39, Hitler and his people wanted to check how far they can go, how much violence they can extract on others. And they realized that they would do anything that they are being told to do. And this is Kristallnacht. I don't know if it's officially the beginning of the Holocaust, but this is definitely the time when the idea of exterminating the Jews, not just causing them to leave the German territory, but killing them, and soon later they found good ways, at least for them, to do that, started. And when it was clear to the Nazi regime that they can trust their people, because those who are being educated, indoctrinated, who drink so much hatred, would end up doing everything that they are told to. So this is the lesson that we have to remember from next week's events. And if you ever hear anyone who is even questioning whether or not the Holocaust took place, you must argue with them, and for that you must educate yourselves. And denying the Holocaust, my friends, is a very high form of pure anti-Semitism that we have to fight. Shabbat Shalom. We're about to continue now with our healing prayer, the Mishaberach. משברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. May the one who bless our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal those who are ill. Those of you who are here, if there is anyone in your life who is ill and in need of healing, please mention her or his name. Shelley? We need to know. Do we have more names?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
They just got the notice.
So let's pray together the Mishaberach.
Oh, excuse me. Carolyn Spector, Kelani Esparza, Bella Leno, Johan Mastonen, Candy Seeger, Sandy Grossman-Dworkin.
Abraham, renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. We rise now for Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
If you're observing a Yortzeit, please remain standing as we remember today on the occasion of Yortzeit. Seymour Ackerman, father of Ed, Harry Levin, stepfather of Phil, Louis Cohen, grandfather of Bruce, Julia Olano, mother of Wendy, Max Colton, grandfather of Gary, Sheldon Diamond, father of Larry, Flora Diaz, mother of Susan, Judy Gerstein, wife of Ed, Iris Marcia Grill, sister of Nina, Morris Goldsbein, grandfather of Mark, Alan Gray, father of David, Jerry Hartman, husband of Esther and father of Cindy and Herb, Eileen and Chris, and Deborah, and grandfather of Tamara, Matthew, Casey, Jacqueline, and Michelle. Andrew Jermel, husband of Gail and father of Valerie. Louis Penn, father of Lorraine and grandfather of Debbie. Jack Kian, father of Julian. Marvin Block, father of Diane. Janet Levine, mother of Howie. Richard Meisler, brother-in-law of Bobby. Mildred Meisler, mother-in-law of Bobby. William Wolf, uncle of Jerry. Israel Schultz, father of Alan. Mark Barbakov, father of Hillary. Saul Rosnov, father of Pat. Susan Frank, sister of Carol. Doris Snyder, mother-in-law of Rosalie and grandmother of Cheryl and Craig. Morris Kaminsky, uncle of Sarah. Howard Weinstein, father of Jeff. On the occasion of Shloshim, the month of mourning, remember Dan Baum, friend of Jody. Stuart Gilbert, father of John. Janet Bereznik, mother of Susan. Stephen Gordon, husband of Nikki and father of Sarah. David Slotkin, son of Marvin. Jim Froth, father of Roseanne. Do we have additional names?
So we have why don't we not read the names? There is no delineation between the Mishaberach list and the Yartzeit list, so I don't want to put anyone in the wrong place.
It's a very wise decision. Let's say the words of the Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ועלמא דברה חירותי והמליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה לאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
ואמרו amen.
You may be seated. Do you think that Judah is ready to lead us in the Kiddush?
Oh, Judah is definitely ready to lead us in the Kiddush.
Two.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagal.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza b'hanu v'Shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרצת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim.
Whoa.
It was very nice, and tomorrow we'll see you. Yeah, now we meet the kids mostly over the phone or computer screens, and that's the way they even participate in services. Our new reality.
Oh no, please.
Do we have real challah or virtual challah?
No, it's real challah.
It's cartoon challah. It's real. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread.
Thanks, God.
Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Shalom, Aleinu.
May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us in person or virtually. Have a wonderful week.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Cancer Marcy.